2024 was a crazy year, especially for villains. They were everywhere, like Niji Sanji, one of the biggest VTubing companies in the world. And this company just kept getting worse and worse as 2024 went on. So first they fired one of their talents, Selen, after she tried to evaporate her soul from her body. Not once, but twice. Because she was experiencing bullying in the company and how poorly the company treated her. She made $0 in 2023. That's how bad it was. Then they got 3 of their biggest English-speaking VTubers to address the situation in a live stream after they got backlash for firing Selen. And they addressed this by making Selen out to be really mentally unstable and talking about how she damaged the company and how she damaged the people's reputations who work for the company. They also read some of the legal documents that were only supposed to be shown to the Niji Sanji lawyers. And to add insult to injury, they did this live stream at the same time Selen, who's now known as Dokibird, went live for one of her streams. Then when this failed, because of course it would, their CEO did a very special apology, which obviously backfired as well. Then sometime later, after that entire disaster, someone came out with a 58-page document which accused one of their VTubers for gooning to someone without their consent. Then they got the same person that they gooned to write and sign signatures and messages that they would send out to fans claiming to be that VTuber. Then this VTuber allegedly shared confidential information about the company to this same person. Then later on in the year, another VTuber was alleged to be a predator who kept coming onto multiple female VTubers and other females. And these females are too afraid to come out because they're afraid that the company will fire them for speaking out. The next villain we have is the International Olympic Committee, who copyright claimed a lot of videos talking about the worst and funniest parts about the Olympic Games. Like the opening ceremony with that Last Supper. I still can't believe they actually thought that would work. Then the whole situation with the 2 female boxers who people thought were not actual women. And let's not forget how they also had contaminated water where people were supposed to swim in and do some water sports in. And then they also copyright claimed people who were posting Rachel Gunn's dance performance in their videos. And I can see why. By the way, Rachel is also trying to sue a comedy club for $10,000 because they were going to do a show about her. Then we get Visa and MasterCard in Japan that are trying to censor Japanese media by not allowing people to make payments to some of these companies on websites that sell anime and manga because of the content that they disagree with. This then caused other card companies to pull out and some of these websites had to close down. And the crazy thing is that the CEO of Visa Japan proudly admitted this in an interview. It's like you could see that he was twirling his mustache as he was saying this. And his reason is because of brand protection. Like, bro, nobody cares about the brand image of Visa and MasterCard. They just want to use their money to buy the things that they want. Then we go from one mustache twirling villain to another, the CEO of Bungie, who laid off 220 people just 2 days after showing some of his employees his garage full of luxury cars. Like, you can't make this up. Then we have Game Science, the makers of Black Myth Wukong, who became the villains to game journalists after IGN made an article about the toxic work culture of the company and how weird their CEO was. And then all the other journalist companies ran weird smear campaign articles about them, even though it turned out that the original article was highly mistranslated. And then they did it again after the Game Awards. I'm shocked that this kind of thing can just happen with no repercussions. Like, you can just lie or misrepresent something and you can just get away with it in media. Then we go to basically the real life Joker, the most popular villain of 2024, the guy who shot the healthcare CEO. And just like the Joker, how you can sympathize with the cause and the reason why he shot the CEO, you can still acknowledge that he is a villain. He basically shot someone execution style. Now let's go to the villains of content creation. Starting with the biggest clown villain of 2024, Johnny Somali, who fucked around in the wrong countries this year and found out that these countries are nothing like Japan. So first was Israel, where he got rolled by some guy. Then later on, he started harassing a female police officer and then got arrested and was picked up like a baby. Then he went to South Korea where he did something absolutely disgusting. He started dancing on these statues which are called comfort women that honor women that were sex slaves to Japanese soldiers many years ago. But South Korea made sure that his foolery would not go unpunished.
Johnny's here, we're gonna have a good time. Whoa! What's up? What do you got? Oh! Yo!
And Johnny was ultimately arrested and he could serve up to 10 years in prison. Next is Mr. Beast, who was accused of a lot of things such as faking his videos, doing illegal lotteries, and so much more by someone named Dogpack404. Only to find out that most of these accusations were actually false, and you can check this video to learn more. But then came Lunchley. And we can't mention Mr. Beast without mentioning Ava Chris Tyson, who we found out was a predator who messaged little kids, which is apparently something people really like doing, because we also found out this year that Dr. Disrespect was messaging a minor back in 2017, which was the reason why he got banned from Twitch. Dr. Disrespect then called someone out on Twitter and his wording was, well, it was strange. And then in his official response, he does mention that he did message a minor. Then he changed the response to no longer include the word minor. And then he changed it back because people saw it and called him out on it. And then he's now deleted it completely. But seriously, in 2025, can we stop messaging little kids? Like, it's not that hard. And from Dr. Disrespect, we go to the biggest villain on Twitch. The balding man himself, Asmongold, who basically started the adpocalypse after saying that Palestinians have an inferior culture and that Palestinians basically deserve what's happening to them right now, and getting banned for his statement. After this, people started to point out the double standard of Twitch and how Asmon was banned for saying this, but other streamers who have done and said other things were not banned. Like how some streamers just had a tier list ranking different people based off of how Arab they were, and this was a sponsored event at TwitchCon. Or a lot of the things that Hassan has said and done on stream. And then how one streamer said military veterans deserve their PTSD, and these people were not banned for any of these things. All this led to Twitch losing a lot of advertisers and people not getting paid, or being paid very little at this time. Then only after Twitch started losing a lot of money did some of these people start getting suspended. And the only one who apologized and actually seemed remorseful about what he said was Asmongold. So let's now go from one form of entertainment to another. Starting with the most evil manga author of 2024, Ichikawa Kuraku, who made the manga Drama Queen. And he's evil because the main character of this manga is very racist towards aliens. And people are comparing the racism to real life or something like that. I don't know, people on the internet are weird. Then we go to the villains in actual shows. Starting with the Statue of God in Solo Leveling, who, well, then we had Invincible, where honestly you can take your pick. From Angstrom Levy, who caused even more trauma to Invincible's mom, to the alternate realities of Invincible, who conquered their worlds, to Anissa, who, actually, I'm gonna leave that for future me to cover. And I haven't seen The Boys season 4 yet, but I'm sure Homelander would have been there. Now let's go to the politics side of villains, starting with the South Korean president who announced martial law, which is a big deal in South Korea because the last time this happened was in 1980, which let's just say didn't go well at all back then. It led to a dictatorship that lasted for an entire year. So now back to the current president. So this president announced martial law because he believed that there were North Korean spies in the country. But in reality, he's just not really liked by the majority of the Korean people. And this whole thing kind of happened out of nowhere. So obviously, the people of South Korea were protesting. And the opposing party had to sneak into the assembly building in order to overrule the martial law because they were banned from the National Assembly. He really did try to take over the entire nation, but he failed and was impeached a few weeks later. And then the next president was impeached after him another few weeks later. Then next we have the biggest, or one of the biggest villains of 2024, the future president of the United States, Donald Trump, who people hate so much that they tried to kill him twice. And obviously we have his best pal, Elon Musk, he's obviously seen as a big villain. He's a billionaire, he ruined Twitter, and the list goes on. But we all know who the real villains were in this whole political thing. It was you blacks, you Hispanics, and especially you whites. Specifically the males of these groups. Like, how could you vote for Donald Trump? The Democratic Party treated you so well. Like how they told you that they didn't need you. And white men, all of you are evil. Don't forget that.
Well, actually...
Excuse me? Are you disagreeing with me right now? You must clearly be a racist, bigot, Nazi, sexist, plantist, germist. And as someone who doesn't even live in the USA, this was fascinating to watch, to say the least. And the final and biggest villain of this list, the one that we all know, the Diddler, who, let's go over it again, BT's girlfriend and multiple other women, had the Diddy party, which was just a bunch of freak-offs, which involved sex workers and sometimes even minors. And the freak-offs also gave him a lot of power against all the people that went. Alright, and he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil. And those were some of the biggest villains of 2024. Like I said, they really were just everywhere. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe for more content. And please watch this video.